I'm in Salad, and I saw Nope. It is directed by Jordan Peele. It's his third movie, and I remember seeing a Twitter thread talking about, oh man, Jordan Peele has like the best horror movies ever, and Jordan Peele had to be like, yo, actually, John Carpenter. And I'm thinking, yes, John Carpenter, because he has like 40 films and has like 12 relevant ones. The math is rough. And what did I think about this movie? Well, let me tell you, the story starts. It starts with... Oh man, I love this so much. Alright, so, you get James. He's on a farm, well, ranch. It's technically a ranch. He's on a ranch with his dad, and, you know, he's just doing dad things, spinning around the horses, and then also walking the horses, and then the spinner stops. It's like, ooh, weird's happening. But then noise up above. Crazy. And then a bunch of stuff starts falling, and his dad gets kind of hit with something, and there's like raining keys or whatever. It's like, what is going on? I'm like, oh boy, I'm very intrigued at this point. But also the opening shot shows a chimpanzee being bloodied, and it's like, okay, cool. My first thought when I saw the scene was like, okay, how is this going to tie in with the end? Because it does. Jordan Peele movies do that. And I'm like, ooh, this is very intriguing. But then, we see, like, it's like a time 6 months later after his dad passes, and it's really sad and tragic. You can see blood splurting out of his face. It's like, oh no, he's dead. That's not good. Who could have done this? Who could have made it rain keys? Well, you know what also sucks? Just, oh man. We get to see James on a set. He's like against a green screen. And I'm like, when thinking about this, I'm like, this is a very meta shot. We're here shooting like a film. But I'm actually intrigued if they like shot any of the stuff at that set which is in the movie. Meta? I don't know. It mostly takes place on a ranch, so I'd see why it would just be, you know, just a normal the normal shot. He's controlling a horse. Jill comes in late. She's talking about, oh yeah, I make a mean grilled cheese and all these other qualifications and what she's doing. She's like, oh, motorcycling on the side. And then, it's fun. They get like a mirror kind of thing next to the horse's nose, face, and so the horse just kicks and injures somebody, and then they get fired and they go back to the ranch that their dad's at. And this is a little spooky, right? Also, Lucky's the horse's name. James is like, yo, we need money. I'm gonna sell like 10 horses, right? And selling Lucky, trying to like set like some sort of deal. Cause, businessman. He used to be a child star. He's just kind of there. He's, you know, white suit guy. He's cool. I like him a lot. But he's like showing off his grody collection, and then you kind of see like flashbacks of him as a child, and it's like a PTSD flash. I'm like, ooh, what could have happened? This is very intriguing. And honestly, I think it was Jill who got them the deal, because James is kind of like standoffish, and I'm like, that's not how you get deals. That's not how you get business deals at all, just trying to like look uninterested. The fact that she was interested in him was like, okay, well, once you show interest in the other person, then it's easier to deal with it's easier to deal a business decision. When you're like friendly and showing interest, and it's like, oh yeah, I can like help you. I can help you doing this way. Let me help your campaign actually. And so they go back to his ranch, and you know what's fun? there's a bunch of lights going off, and ooh, there's a dust storm, and the horses are gone. First of all, Ghost, there's a whole title card for it. Ghost leaves is just like in the middle of like just a pin for whatever reason. It's like, what is happening? But then, big dust storm. It's crazy. It's really crazy. Ghost gets sucked by this UFO thing. It's like, oh boy, what is happening? And they're like, oh man, you know what? We could actually take some photos of the UFO so we can profit off of it. And we need some cameras though. Let's start with some cameras. Alright, so, fun thing. They go to Fry's. There's a UFO in Fry's. And honestly, I was like, how is this Fry's still operable with a UFO in it? And then I realized, that's the storefront. Whoops, I feel kind of dumb now. So yeah, they go to Fry's, they meet a guy, he's like clearly uninterested, he's condescending to them. He's like, you know, cameras, they are digital. Anything with a battery cannot be electrical interfered with. Cause, you know, battery. They're just like staring at him. Like, what? Jill's like, I don't like being condescended to. Please, I need your help installing these security cameras. So the Fry guy comes to help install the security cameras, and his little dialogues with him be like between like just himself, like he's installing the cameras. He's like, all right, cool, look at all this stuff, the routers in the shed. This is all fun and handy dandy, right? If you'd like, for free, I could surveil the camera. Nope. He's like, all right. And then he like swears under his breath a few times. And it's like, this is pretty awesome. I love it. What a cool guy. I like this guy. And so, because he's introduced, he's shown to be like, hey, you're a recurring character. You know what that means? He's actually surveilling the cameras the entire time. And there's another incident of the UFO, and it's with, Clover is released, and it's like, ooh, there's something like really creepy in the ranch house. What is up? James goes out there, he sees a light turn on, goes investigate, and all you see is like he turns like a corner to turn off the light, then the light turns back on, and then you see like these figures, right? They're just kind of like being all creepy and like, yeah, we're here to scare you. Of course, James is like, nope, and just up and leaves. I'm like, hey, that's the name of the movie. But also, he's like, I don't want to deal with this. And then it turns out it's a bunch of like these hooligans from next door. That's crazy. But Clover's gone. Clover just yeets. And then there's another UFO instance. And there's a praying mantis on one of the cameras that works, and then one of the other cameras is gone. Just absolutely gone. And it's wild because the praying mantis, after having a bunch of Sour Patch Kids like pelted at him, he finally leaves after a UFO's gone. I was like, oh, come on. You freaking praying mantis. I'm gonna strangle you, praying mantis. You made it so they couldn't get footage in the first try? What is wrong with you, praying mantis? I'm gonna prey on you next time I see you. So, now, they go to, well, they don't really go to like a ranch or anything, but you know what's fun? Fry guy is coming out. He's out and about. He's here. And what's near? Just crazy stuff. Such as, he comes out to investigate one of the cameras being off, puts like a tarp on the camera, one of the top camera that had a praying mantis on it. It's like, all right, it's gonna storm. All right, here we go. We're gonna prepare for a storm. Let's all go inside. And James is outside during the storm, right? And it's crazy. Before I mention the storm, though, there is a crucial scene. Let's go back to the white suit guy. He is showing off this UFO. He's known for weeks. Crazy how that works. He's like he's having it as a show. He's got Lucky, and he's about to like let Lucky get ate, right? But Lucky is in a glass box, and so cannot get ate very easily without being run off. And Lucky does not want to go at all. Who knew? And instead, you get a bunch of people staring at the thing, and he's staring at the thing, and he gets ate, and everybody else gets ate. And there's like an icy machine there, and icy machine turns off, and that's how you know he's near. And it's like, oh no, oh no, oh no, not all these people. What? Crazy how that works. Also, speaking of that guy, there's a flashback to when there was a chimp, during that episode, that Grody show. The chimpanzee's name was Grody, and, there's a birthday episode, he's shown being filmed, and when the balloons pop, he freaks out, then it starts attacking people, then everybody starts freaking out, which causes him to attack more people, and it's like, you guys, chimpanzees, when they're loud, that's a sign of aggression. They're just gonna flat out beat you. And so, the chimpanzee beats everybody on set, and he's kind of chilling there, you know, just being chill. And the chimpanzee finds him, looks at him, about to give him a fist bump when he gets Harambe'd. Bam! Right in the head. He gets blood splatters everywhere. It's like, okay, that's where that flashback was when he got blood splatter and he was in his trailer or whatever. Crazy how that works. Maybe that's why he left the industries, because he got so traumatized by being on the Grody show. And so, you know, that guy gets ate. But also, now the storm is out. You got James is out. He barely misses the whole UFO when he goes into the shed, and it's like, oh, thank goodness, right? But you know, it's also great, the fact that it has ate them, plus has ate, like, the horse that was, pretty early on, like a horse that Jill stole from them, by the way. Super funny. And, you know, it's great. They're in the house. Him and her and the Fry guy are in the house. He's, like, freaking out. He's got a knife. He's running around with the knife. And I'm like, no, that's not safe. That's not safe. Don't just do that. But, they're in the house, and the rain stops. Even though it is raining outside. The UFO is above them, and it just starts barfing. Blood. Just so much blood covered on this house. It's just drenched in blood. It's so awful. It's quite a sight. And when I was seeing it in theaters, just seeing the blood, I was like, oh no, what a horrifying. It is so awful. That house is stained forever, and the rain won't wash it away. And now there's just blood, and it's like, ooh, gross. But also, James is there. He has a truck and a trailer with Lucky in it. And the truck stops, and it's like, okay, cool. This establishes like a radius in which you can, which the electronics will not go off. And it's like, okay, cool, this is like maybe like 100 foot, maybe 150 foot radius, 500 foot, I don't know numbers, but the truck is just parked there. The UFO is just floating above. And, like, I love the scene where it's, like, it's showing the UFO dispersing the rain, but then as the UFO comes closer, he's just, haha, oh no, the rain's dispersing. Oh no, the rain stopped. It's right above me. And it's just, he's just there. And all you can hear is James's breathing. And it's like, oh, this is all really tense. I don't want this to go wrong. And it's just, you know, just waiting, and then BAM! Horse right through the windshield, and it scares him. And he's like, oh my goodness gracious. And he kind of just has to wait there until a time skip where he managed to fall asleep in the car. How did you do that? That's crazy. Wow, I can't believe it. But anyway, he managed to fall asleep in the car. He goes to the Fry's. But you know what's great? Fry's still is playing music because he was playing music before, when he was starting to, like, to leave. So, alright, I'm going. But, you know what's great about that? It happens again. The people are there. By the people, I mean the UFO are there again. And it's coming. Ooh, he coming! And they have to run. They have the big run out of the house because they don't want to stay there because it's awful. But they go to his place. They crash at his place. He has a cool setup. He's got like a really cool, maybe like it's like a crypto miner. It's like all the GPUs in the world, all the fans pointing at it, plus like a VR headset. And I'm like, oh, that makes sense. You work at Fry's. Of course you would, be in possession of that. But you know what's also awesome? They have to go back to the ranch. She's like, I don't want to go back to the ranch. It's death. And he's like, I gotta feed the horses. So, what they do, they go back to the ranch. But before that, they confront like a little bit before that. She's like, hey, do you wanna, I got a job for your life to a random cinematographer. And he's looking old and he's grumpy. He's like, I don't wanna do stuff paid up front. And he's also listening to the news of the massacre, the 40 people gone. What happened to those people? Who knew? Only time will tell. But also, you know what's also super fun? So, they go back to the ranch. And it's like, okay, game time. We're gonna do this. We're gonna go back to the ranch, feed the horses. This is a little bit dangerous. But also the cinematographer's out there. He's like, yeah, this is crazy. There's a wheelchair on your roof. Oh boy. He's like, alright, this is a shot. I'm very excited. So they gather up a battle plan using a bunch of pins and like these Monopoly pieces. And then they steal a bunch of the floaty guys. Ooh. Also, I gotta talk about when they're riding in the car and you see Jill, but you also see the reflection of the road and the little wavy guys, you know, the car dealership guys. They're like waving and you see them passing and they're like, that's great cinematography. But so they rig up everything. They have everything hooked up to the battery. They got the floaty guys. They're just there. And now it's time. He's got the cinematographer has got just like a hand crank, what was it called? A hand crank photographer, camera, video thing, camera. And so, and so what's super fun is that they set up on a hill, him and Fry Guy, and then he got James. He's kind of just down there on a horse on Lucky, and he's got some eyes on his back, and it's really tricky. They're trying to get, I don't know exactly what they're trying to accomplish. I guess they're just trying to have him eat a bunch of stuff that, you know, sucks. But, you know, it also is there And it's like guy just like trying to be famous from like TMZ and just trying to record stuff on a digital camera, and he doesn't know what he's doing, but he's got a bike, he got a motorcycle going 60 miles per hour, miles per hour, and it's pretty great. He flies as soon as he hits the range in which the EMP stuff happens, he just right onto the ground. He's stuck there, stuck looking at the UFO, and he gets 8. And then cinematography guy keeps on cranking, and it gets to the point where the first he doesn't look at the UFO, so he doesn't get 8. But then he has the eyes on the back of his head that he glued to onto his hoodie, and then he just rides and he draws the UFO towards the camera so they can get a really good shot, and it's pretty great. There's a moment where oh man, you know what sucks? The UFO eats like a shed. And James almost get 8. Everyone almost gets 8. You get, there's a moment where Fry Guy is about to get 8, but then he ties himself to some barbed wire, and it's like it's the greatest plan ever. He stays there, it's like, awesome! Dude, this is so smart thinking. I would have not thought that, and I would have been died. But instead, he lived. And so he's there to film some more, and the cinematography guy is there to film some more. He leaves his station. He's like, alright, I'm gonna get the ultimate shot, and then he gets killed! And it's like, dude, you're gonna get the ultimate shot that's not gonna get released because the monsters, UFO is gonna eat it. It's gonna eat the shot. Like, what's the point? What's the point of getting a shot like that if you're just going to die and it's not gonna get released? Like, maybe the point of the shot is that it exists, so other people can be like, oh, that thing exists? He also says, like, oh, maybe the impossible isn't possible. And it's like, dude, you're choosing to die. What is wrong with you? This was like a huge 180. Like, maybe you're just so dedicated to cinematography that you just flat out decided to die. And this part rubbed me the wrong way. I was like, what? Why? Why did he die like this? This is kind of dumb. But then, you get to see Jill is trying to distract, UFO, but then James comes in trying to distract UFO, so Jill can get on the motorcycle and distract UFO, so it can take it to the place where they got 8. The 40 people got 8, and she unties a balloon, a big balloon. I like it. She's trying to like take some pictures using like the well, and honestly, it's pretty cool. It's like a Polaroid camera, and there's a few shots where she gets of just the balloon floating. Few shots of that, and then at the right moment when the UFO just eats it, and it's a perfect shot, and it's during this entire like 2 or 3 minutes where it's not showing the Polaroid camera. I'm like, did she get the shot? Did she get it? Oh my goodness, did she get the shot? And I'm like, okay, cool, James is alive, that's great and all, but did she get the shot? Yes, she did get the shot. It looks really cool, and it's like framed perfectly. It's like, man, you couldn't ask for a better shot with how fast the guy was going. And then they're on with their normal lives. And you got a bunch of media sensation. And it's like, aw, yeah, that's the end of the movie. The cinematography is great. I was studying the cinematography the entire time, and it was great, honestly. This movie, I honestly, I don't quite understand the point of Grody being mentioned, like the chimpanzee, because the guy just kind of dies. I don't understand it really. Maybe he's faced death, almost got a fist bump, and then lived. I'm not sure, but the character dialogue was super fun and amusing to listen to, and Jill especially is like, I love her so much. And so I gotta give this movie a solid 7.9 out of 10. If you like that content, I have more content at patreon.com/ASEPresents. For $3 a month, you get some daily vlogs plus some extended mint salad sauce. $20 a month, you get 1 movie review per 1 request. So go check out patreon.com/ASEPresents. Also, more links to support me are in the link tree down below. There's a lot of fun stuff there. Also, I'm talking to all fans on Fansly. So go check out my Fansly at fansly.com/itsmintsalad. Until next time, I'm Mint Salad Saw. I'll see y'all later, my salad croutons and bacon bits.